So, way back in the 1970s, and really all through the 80s, usually on a Tuesday, my mom would come home with a very specific envelope. And we knew what was in it before we even saw the return label. Mom would sit down at the kitchen table to read it. Various expressions would cross her face: laughter, concern, happiness, and then contentment. Three, sometimes four, occasionally five typewritten pages from Grandpa every week. And then it was dropped on the coffee table and it stayed there for days. My dad picked it up after dinner. My brothers read it after school. I would read it as soon as I could, and then again on the weekend because I couldn't believe Uncle Mike was going to drive to Alaska from California. But Grandpa was running the family newsletter, a paragraph for each of his kids, the oldest ones with families of their own, the youngest ones just finding their footing in the world. He was the hub, the curator, the disseminator of all information. Toastmasters, this speech is about communication styles and how I learned how style is an artifact of the communication channel. A lesson I learned by experiencing how my family communication evolved over the decades. Now, when Grandpa's letters were a regular feature of my life, of course we had telephones. But if you're under 40, let me explain something to you. Long distance calls cost money, real money, per minute money. And the rates were different depending on the time of the day, the time zone you lived in, and I think generally the mood of the phone company. You didn't call to say nothing. You called because you had something to say, something that could not wait for a letter. You said it, and then you hung up. Every call was intentional. Every call had stakes. The phone rang, and you would think, this is important. Communication that costs money is a wonderful way of focusing your thoughts. So Grandpa passed in 1994, and someone had to fill the void. Not just personally, but infrastructurally. The family still needed an information hub. Someone still needed to know what everyone else was up to and make sure everyone else knew that. So Grandma took over. But she did it different. No typewriter, no coffee table dispatch. She moved the operation to the phone. Now, I know I just said that long distance was expensive, but two things happened then to dramatically reduce the cost of long distance. First, the phone company was broken up over antitrust laws. And then second, the cell phone showed up. So Grandma had the ability to call everyone, gather intelligence and information, and then redistribute it with remarkable efficiency. Same function, different channel. Increased frequency, 2 or 3 times a week, the channel opened to our house. The newsletter became a phone tree, and Grandma was the trunk. But her style was different as well. More conversational, more supportive, checking in, following up, making sure people felt connected, not just informed. Grandpa reported the news, but Grandma tended the relationships. Then, in the sort of middle 90s, almost the turn of the century, email arrived. And suddenly, everyone had direct access to everyone else. My mom would email her sister directly. Her sister could email her brother. Her other brother could email all the siblings at once. The tree was bypassed at every branch. And once again, the family information hub evolved. Grandma's role still existed, the call still came, but really it was almost ceremonial because everybody already knew everybody else's business. Grandma would tell my mom a story about her sister, and my mom already knew. Grandma was not pleased to be quiet fired as the information hub. But she did what any reasonable woman of her generation would do when technology threatened her position in the family information hierarchy. She got a computer. She got back into the flow. And then somewhere in watching her do that, to refuse to be left behind, to adapt completely, and to master a third new channel in service of the same goal, I learned something what it means to be a communicator. It's not about the tool, it's about the intention behind it. Now, grandma has long left us as well. My extended family, about 50 of us now, even Uncle Mike's kids have kids. We all participate in a Facebook group, and it's been set up for ages. It exists, it functions. But the difference is, grandpa's letters were 3 to 5 pages every week, detailed, specific, considered. The Facebook group has 50 people in it. It gets a handful of posts a month. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, nothing really of substance. So I've been thinking about why that is. And I think this, when communication is effortless, we put less effort into it. When it costs grandpa something, time, paper, intention, he made it worth the cost. When it costs us nothing to post, we don't really post much. Fellow Toastmasters, we come here every week to practice the idea that how you say something matters. That a little craft, a little intention, and knowing your style goes a long way. I am happy to be here with you, keeping the flame of meaningful communication going, even if it's over Zoom. Thank you. Back to you, Master Toastmaster.